Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Francis Mahan. Welcome to another episode of Conscious Dating Online. Although this has nothing to do with dating online, it does reflect on the fact that sometimes we change and we need to find the reason why. Why do we change? It has been said that separation is protection. Protection from who? Protection from God. If you are one of those people that have been married for 10, 20, 15 years, and all of a sudden one day you wake up and you feel different, you feel as if something is missing. Children are changing, your spouse is never there, especially if he travels. And you begin to have a sense of life experience unlike you never have before. That's normal. See, sometimes God sends us on a journey that we desire in life, but God puts our purpose on hold to allow us to experience that journey and learn the things that we need to learn in order to continue His will. If you get up and your children are acting different, your spouse almost become a stranger to you because you no longer relate. Things have changed. You are growing. Your partner is growing. And you are becoming miles and miles apart. You start to wonder, is it my fault? Is it me? Am I the one who is being distanced? Am I the one feeling this way? No, my friend, you're not. It is a process by which both partners have grown together, and now they begin a new era in their life in which you either accept the change or you try to rediscover yourself and find your purpose in life. No, it is not a separation of the soul, and it is not the fact that you're mourning someone that died, because sometimes it feels that way, like there is a deep separation, but you can't figure it out. It is the fact that inside of you, a change is required, and sometimes changes are painful. We're not always ready to accept what is. And sometimes our purpose in life requires separation. Look at it this way. Think of it as you going on a trip. You went on a journey in which you had to learn so much of all the things that you always wanted in life, whether it was traveling, culture, experiencing, moving, shopping, anything that you always wanted to do, and then God gave you the opportunity to do it. Many people write their wish boards and put it on photos and desires that they want to be part of their life and their future. But they don't know that sometimes there is a price to pay for that, and that is separation. You have to separate yourself from the journey you are taking, and only then you will understand, because it is not your will, but thy will of God. Remember that the separation from your journey is actually a deliverance. If you have to divorce and go separate way, it is an opportunity for you to find out your power, who you really are, your resilience, your creativity, your gift in life. I can attest to some of that. When I got married, I wanted so many things. I wanted to travel. I want to have a new house, beautiful places, jewelry, clothing, everything that I've always wanted, although I work hard to have most of it. By the time I got married, I had most of what I wanted, not exactly to the level that I desire. So I embarked on a journey, and then slowly but surely, things change. And I was wondering why? Why now? I was 61 when that happened. I was so afraid to encounter the world on my own. Little did I know that God had a surprise for me. I remember when I was a child that I loved writing. And although I had a lot of impediments learning, I overcame all the fear and all the obstacles that brought me to the point where I am today, where I have written 8 books. And today, although some refer to me as someone who writes books, I know that I am an author because I have written more than 8 books. Among them, manuals, calendars, yoga calendars. They're all on Amazon.com. And it is unfortunate that I am not popular because I haven't learned to navigate all the avenues that allowed me to market my books. And today, unfortunately, things are more expensive than they used to be before. I just thought that if I embark on a journey to publish my own book on Amazon, if somebody wanted them, they'll be there. But that hasn't been the case. However, I am not disappointed. With all honesty, I'm not. My purpose in life is not necessarily to be famous, to be a New York Times bestseller, although I would love to. But my purpose in life is to leave a legacy on my inner child desires and wishes that I had when I was so young that I wonder if I could ever become an author. And I have overcome more than one obstacle. I joined Toastmasters because I was so afraid of public speaking. I will get in front of people and my knees will shake, my hands, I will sweat, and sometimes out of that inner fear, I will forget what I had to say. Not anymore, my friends. See, practice makes perfect. And I have overcome with resilience those 2 obstacles. I regret nothing whatsoever, because as long as I live, I am going to continue to try. And although many people say that you must follow a pattern in which you have to write and do certain things, I am one of those people that like to do things different. I just like to be different from the rest. I don't want to follow. I want my writing and my style to be unique, even if it's not acceptable to others, because that's who I am and that is part of my creativity. So, my friends, if you feel that you're stuck somewhere in a relationship, things are not working, the love that was there is missing, and you no longer feel the same about your partner. Sometimes there are people that say they can no longer tolerate their partner. Look at it from a point of view of love. See it from your heart, from how you felt when you met this person. Because the transitional growing, it is going to happen to everyone. We all have to grow or we stop living, If you don't change, if your life is the same for 10, 20, or 15 years, you haven't advanced in society, not psychologically, spiritually, or in any other consciously. So changes are required and they're necessary. And it is okay to go through all those feelings. And trust me, it is going to feel very uncomfortable because we as human beings get attached, we get accustomed to other people, and we like to stay there regardless of whether we're comfortable or not. And sometimes we have to learn to breathe and allow changes to happen in order for us to grow spiritually, to follow God's will, and not to be stuck in a situation when you wake up in the morning and you're not happy. You don't have that joy of life, and life makes no difference. I believe that is what happened to a lot of kids that are young and commit suicide. They feel stuck in a situation where they don't have someone that they can speak about their problem, connect with, or who will understand what they're going through. It is sad to see young people go through the trauma and the darkness of being stuck in a situation that requires mental health, understanding, and love, and there is no one there to help them. Whether it is by choice, because sometimes people like this retrieve themselves from others. They don't want to associate because they feel as if no one understands their pain. Although many call it mental health, I don't think it's a mental health situation. It's a deep loneliness where a person feels that they're not understood for what they're going through. They're not necessarily mentally ill. That's not a sickness. That's normal. Even kids sometimes feel when they're growing up that their parents do not understand them. That's not abnormal. But it requires connection. It requires support, understanding, somebody that is there to lend you a hand. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to take that journey of solo on your own. And it is painful. That journey of the lonesome individual is not an easy one. You got to suffer, you got to shed the tears, and you have to try to understand why and why not, and where you are and why you're there, until you get it, until you understand that it's not your will, it's God's will, that you don't attach yourself to another person to be who you are, that you as an individual are a person with gift, a person with value, a person with power, and a conscious human being. Sometimes we don't give credit to ourselves for who we are and our values or what we have to offer the world, because even if it is a tiny seed, a tiny mustard seed that you can offer the world so someone can understand what they're going through, you have done your job according to God's will. I just want you to understand that loneliness, separation, and taking a journey in life and growing has its value and it has its downfall as well. Pros and cons of growing and understanding who you are and what you have to offer. I thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure as usual. And if you are in a relationship where you feel stuck, I hope you understand the reasons why. There is always tomorrow, and the sun will shine. Have a wonderful day. Love and light.